richly connected with and inspired by nature. Their dances are mimicked from the action of animals such as monkeys and birds. The Tiboli have a rich musical culture with a variety of musical instruments. But the Tiboli music and songs are not meant for entertainment only. The tribal songs are a living contact with their ancestors and a source of ancient wisdom. Their religion, the Tiboli believe in a seven-level upper world inhabited by many gods, foremost of whom are the couple Kadlaw na Sangkad and Bulan la Magwaw. In Tiboli belief, a spirit of force lives in all objects, animated and inanimated. They make offerings, included bracelets, to the spirits of rivers and forests. Tiboli believes that everything has a spirit which must be respected for good fortune. But spirits can cause illness and bad fortune. Tiboli, together with the Blaan to the east and Tiruray to the north, are in a single language group distinct from the remaining languages of Mindanao. The Tiboli traditionally live in a scattered settlements in the highlands of southwestern region of Mindanao.
So since the Tiboli live in the mountains, they are closely tied to the nature, which give them food and also the shelter. So the Tiboli meals are very simple, consisting of sweet potatoes, cassava, or the maize eaten with vegetables, and also the fish or the lake snails. So the rice or the masa is the staple food of the Tiboli people, while the forest products are also important food sources such as the lake fish that is very important to the protein source. They also occasionally prepare and also eat the meat and also the chicken, and they usually prepare it during the feast, the celebrations, and also the religious rituals. They also prepare some wine or the lewak, which is made of the sugar cane during the certain celebrations, meetings, or also the gatherings. And the Tiboli people prefer dishes that are very spicy, such as using the ginger, the lemongrass, the onion, as well as the pungent with chili or a male is also part of their everyday meal. So the Tiboli relies more on slash and burn agriculture and fishing. So after planting, weeding, fishing, harvesting corn, rice, and also the vegetables, so the collected fruits, vegetables, fishes, and also the grains from that area that they've collected will serve as their everyday meal. So and if there's one thing that seems to unify the different culture, it is the tradition of the Tiboli people, wherein they gather together to share a meal.
So let's move on how the beliefs and practices of an individual affect the nutrition and diet. So first, it depends on how they will adopt the dietary practices of a specific group that they will belong. So for example, if they will belong in a specific group that the dietary practices is in the good condition, so there will be a positive effect. So if they will belong in a specific group that the dietary practices was in poor condition, so there will be a negative effect. So as stated here, so the Tiboli tribe was in the dietary practices of the Tiboli tribe was in good condition. So they were preparing meals that are simple at the same time healthy. So they are naturally sustaining their daily needs. So there will be a positive effect. So the benefits of the dietary practices of the Tiboli tribe are, first one is that it can lower the cholesterol levels of an individual, and also it can promote the health condition of the individual, and also it can give energy to do the daily activities, and also it can lessen the risk of any diseases or any cancer that may occur later in life. So that's all for the how the beliefs and practices affect the nutrition and diet of an individual.
So the Tiboli tribe live in the highlands and are reliant on nature for food and shelter. So the nilut onok is one of their most well-known delicacies. Nilut means bamboo and onok means chicken. Nilut onok, or a chicken roasted in bamboo, takes 2 hours to cook and it's ready to serve after 2 hours. And the chicken is nicely cooked and the meat is tender.
So after choosing the delicacy, we will now proceed in making the nutrition facts and the nutritional value of our recipe, which is the nilut onok. So first, we need to write down all the ingredients needed in our dish. So for our nilut onok, we have the 500 grams chicken, the ginger, onion, lemongrass, sweet basil, and aromatic ginger. So we also need to include how much of each ingredient is required for us to write the nutritional value for the specific amount that we will use in our recipe. So after that, we will just add up all the nutritional value information that we listed up in the first step. Like for example, we need to add all the calories together or all the carbohydrates together. So once we finished adding them separately, we will now determine how many servings we will have. So lastly, in making the template, there are a lot of pre-made templates in the internet that we can use, but for this one, we just generate it to the website, namely Free Nutrition Label Maker. So this would be the nutrition fact of our nilut onok. So we have the 5 servings per container. So the amount per serving would be, the calories would be 160, the total fat would be 14 grams, the saturated fat would be 1.9 grams, the trans fat would be 0.02 grams, the cholesterol would be 30 milligrams, the sodium would be 110 milligrams, the total carbohydrate would be 2 grams, the total sugars would be 1 gram, and the protein would be 7 grams. So that would be for the nutrition facts and also their nutrition value for the said nilut onok.